brake kept my camera to sell. On the road, the red, red road. You made with omelets and stews, and I might have stayed on waiting there. My heart cried out for California, California, coming home. Make me feel good, rock and roll, man. I'm your biggest fan. California, coming home. Oh, it gets so lonely when you're walking. The streets are full of strangers. All the news of home just gives you the blues. Just gives you the So I bought me a ticket, I caught a plane to Spain. Went to a party that Bedford Road. There were lots of pretty people there, reading Rolling Stone, reading Vogue. They said, how long can you hang around? I said a week, maybe two, just until my skin turns brown. Then I'm going home to California, California, coming home. Oh, will you take me as I am, strung out on another man? California, coming home. Oh, it gets so lonely when you're walking. The streets are full of strangers. All the news of home. Read more about the war and the bloody changes. Oh, will you take me as I am? Will you take me as I am? Will you take me as I am? Whoa,
Hey everyone, and welcome back to Swift Guitar Lessons. Today I have the pleasure of breaking down Joni Mitchell's 1971 classic, California. Before we get to our lesson though, I want to thank Caroline Kane for joining me on the demonstration. Caroline is a very talented violinist, singer, and actress based out of Philadelphia, and you can expect her back very soon. I also want to throw a shout out to my student Julia for requesting the tune. If you, the viewers, have a song that you'd like for me to teach next, click through the link in the description and put in your request today. Now, let's get started with our lesson. Okay, a close look at the fretboard, and we're getting started with the intro section. I'm going to start off by demonstrating. It's going to sound like this. Okay, so that started off with my first finger on the 4th fret of the B string. I'm going to be going back and forth between 4, 5, and 4 like this. Then play the open B string. As you're doing that, I want you to let the high E string ring out, open. Then we're going to go to the 1st fret of the G string, the G sharp note. Then play the open B. So far we have. Okay, let's play what we have so far. Sounds like this. Okay, notice that my first finger stayed down that time as I plucked the B string for a more professional feel. Now I'm ready to go into the second part of this intro section. It's going to sound like this. Alright, so that began with a very percussive strumming pattern over A major. This chord's being created by barring the 2nd fret of the D, G, and B strings, avoiding the high E string as I go, hopefully muting it out. Okay, so here I'm going to strum, I'm going to chuck the strings with a percussive hit. Okay, that's when I relieve the pressure on the left hand, and then drive through the muted strings, covering the strings also with my palm. So, down, chuck, up, down. Then I'm just gonna slap the strings. I didn't follow through that time. I strum again, then reach out with my pinky to the 5th fret B string. Then play the 1st fret of the G string, and the B string again, open. Now finally, we're ready for the last part of this intro section. Sounds like this. Then an E major chord, and an A into our verse. Okay, so this part, we're just gonna slide up to the 4th fret of the B string, then grab the 2nd fret of the high E string, back to the B string 4th fret, to the 4th fret of the G string. Coming out of our other sections, it would sound like this. Put together what we have so far. Alright, now the E major chord, down, chuck, up, down, chuck, up, down, chuck, up. A major chord, strum, strum. Nice and short staccato strums there on A major. Gets us into the verse. Okay, now we're ready for our verse section. It's gonna sound like this. 1, 2, 3, 4. Alright, that progression will transpire twice. Basically what we're doing is playing an E major chord, an A major chord, and an F sharp minor, except I'm not gonna bar. I'm just gonna put my first finger here on the G string 2nd fret for a very melodic, lush sounding open chord, and then a B dominant 7 chord. Now I could go through each of those chord shapes with just a very simple strumming pattern. One of the first strumming patterns that all my students learn, the pop strumming pattern. Down, down, up, up, down, up, down, down, up, up, down, up. The F sharp minor, down, down, up, up, down, up. And then the B7 chord. But I'm gonna utilize my percussive hit again. Down, chuck, up, chuck, up. That's usually where I jump, down, chuck, up, chuck, up. The F sharp minor, the B7. Now, I want you to focus on jumping on that last upstroke. Jump, jump. Open strums in between those chords. Just like that. Okay, congrats. You've succeeded in learning the intro and verse sections. Now we're ready for the chorus. First, before we get there, I want you just to click through that link in the description. Remember to put in your song requests for the week. I'll be checking them out. Now, let's get started with your chorus. Okay, jumping into our chorus section, it's gonna sound like this. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, jumping into our chorus section, we're gonna be coming out of the verse on a B7 chord. Starting from the F sharp minor, it's too old and cold and settled in its ways here. And then the A major chord comes in. What we could do is begin with just a pop strumming pattern with that percussive hit. We gotta do it twice on the A major. Once on the E major. And then once on a C sharp dominant 7. For those of you who don't know this chord, I have the 4th fret of the A, it's my ring finger, the middle finger on the 3rd fret of the D string, my pinky here on the G string 4th fret, that's our dominant 7, and then my first finger here on the 2nd fret of the B. If the E string rings out, it's going to be a little dissonant, but it won't sound terrible. It's nice to kind of mix those tones together, actually. Okay, so starting from the A major chord, 2 patterns, the E major, the C sharp dominant 7, and then we're going to A major chord, See the Folks I Dig, to the E major chord, Kiss a Sunset Pig, and then B dominant 7, California, I'm Coming Home. Just like that. Okay, so that's gonna be our entire chorus. But if you're listening to the track, you might notice that there's a little bit of finger picking going on. So what I'm gonna do is break down a way of playing that kind of mixes together the guitar part and also what Joni is playing on the dulcimer. Okay, using hybrid picking technique, that's using my pick and my fingers together, we're gonna combine the parts of the guitar and also the dulcimer over A major. I'm gonna demonstrate first, then I'll break it down. It's gonna sound like this. Now real slow. Okay, I'm going to divide this up into 3 parts. With my A major chord barred up here and my pinky stretched over to the 5th fret, I'm going to play A string, D string, high E string, and then with my middle finger, I'm going to flick through the G and the B string, maybe my D string. Just like that. The second part, I'm gonna pluck the A string again with the pick, grab the high E string, the 2nd fret B string with my middle finger, then flick again. We put those 2 parts together, we have A, D, E, flick, A, E, B, flick. Alright, then I'm going to play the 3rd fret with my middle finger here. My middle finger is going to grab the 3rd fret of the B string and do a pull off, but as I strike my A string open, then play the 2nd fret G string, high E string, and the B string 2nd fret. So that would sound like this. Now I like to grab the G string with the pick. Right there. High E string with the ring finger, and the B string with my middle finger. Putting parts 1 through 3 together again, it's gonna sound like this. Notice how I did the 3rd section twice through. That's gonna get us right into the next chord, which will be an E major. Okay, so that finger picking pattern is going to replace the 2 pop strumming patterns that we had over A major, where Joni sings, "Ah, but California, California, I'm coming home." The E and the C sharp dominant 7 will be exactly the same. The A major chord comes back in. Gonna see the folks I dig, even kiss a sunset pig. California, I'm coming home. And the only other thing I might do is just a little trick. I could play a B dominant 7, California, I'm coming home. But sometimes I like to throw in a little bit of melodicism. I take my A major chord shape up a whole step, which creates this very suspended sounding version of our B major chord. So this is going to be our B, kind of the 5 chord to get us back into the verse. So here I might just strum through the chord, maybe the D string, the G string, and the B string with the strum, and just kind of pick through, arpeggiating with some cross picking. Strum E, B, G, E, B, G. All the way through. I like to hit a G and a high E string to finish it up, and then right there on the E major chord, coming home. Okay, with the chords complete, we're ready to move into the instrumental break. It's gonna sound like this. Okay, so that began with an E major chord, a strum and a chuck, Then we get into a little lick here on the high E string and B string. That was high E string, 2, 4, 2, open, 4th fret of the B string, and then the high E string open. Then we're going to create a little C sharp minor shape. 4th fret E, 5th fret B, 6th fret G. Arpeggiate it twice. Then 4th fret of the B string and the high E string. Make sure you have very good posture here. So you put those things together. So far we have. And make sure you're keeping your alternate picking going. Okay, now the second repetition of this instrumental break. Okay, so that began with an E shape, strum it, chuck it, then get right up into an E major chord using our D shape. This is when we take the D chord and bring it up a whole step. I'm going to strum down, up, and then down, up with my pinky here on the 5th fret. Back to the E major chord, down, chuck up, and then the A chord jumps in. Okay, kind of bringing back the vibe from the intro, down, down, nice staccato strums. Gets us right into our next verse. Okay, so that instrumental break is going to be used to get you into the second verse, the first time that you play it. But the second time it's going to be used to get you into the bridge. If that's the case, you're not going to do those staccato A chords at the end. You're going to refrain from doing that. Instead, you'll hold on to the E major chord and perform. Oh, it gets so lonely when you're walking. The streets are full of strange. B chord, blues from home, F sharp. You read A major, still gives you the blues. D chord, just gives you the blues. Hold on the B major chord, then A chord. Into the E major chord. Okay, breaking down the bridge section, I want to remind you that this bridge happens twice throughout the entire composition of the song. Once after the second instrumental part, and then once at the end of the tune where it's used to set up the coda. Okay, in its first repetition, it starts off with an E major chord. We're going to give it that pop strumming pattern. Down, chuck, up, chuck, up. Then to an F sharp major chord, same strumming pattern. That takes us into an A chord. And then the E chord comes back. We're going to break from our pop strumming pattern and throw in that B major chord as an A shape up a whole step. Some melodic picking. There I did a strum, E, B, G, E, B, G, E. Alright. And that is the first half of the bridge. Next, we're going into the F sharp major chord. Here we're going to have the same strumming pattern. All the news of home you read, A chord comes in, just gives you the, and right here it seems to take a turn. Everything kind of changes in terms of the feel of the tune. Goes back to the F sharp major, blues, same strumming pattern. The D chord gets that pop strumming as well. And then she goes up high, just gives you the blues. There we're going to do our little picking pattern over B, but we're going to double it. Then we'll get into the A major chord for a little bit of a picking pattern with pull-offs. It's going to sound like this real slow. Reprising one of the licks from our intro. Alright, and then that will get us into the next verse. Okay, so that little picking pattern, we have an A chord set up, this time with the bar. I pluck the A string, and then strum. Then I needed to do this lick twice. Alright, so that is a pull off from 3 to 2 on the B string, and then the G string, 2nd fret, which is part of the bar. After that, we need to go A strum, and then repeat that, A strum. So far we have. Then I'm going to do my lick again, and then reprise the lick from my intro. Alright, so that was that 4, 5, 4, 0, with the high E string ringing the entire time. To the E major chord. You do your pop strumming pattern over the E chord. Lots of different strumming options there. I think naturally I kind of lean towards this strumming pattern here. Down, chuck up, down, chuck up, down, chuck up. Just as we did in the intro. Okay, moving into the final section that you need to get down. The second repetition of that bridge. So here we're going to be going, coming out of the second half of it. She'll sing, all the news from home you read, it's more about the war and the bloody changes. There, it gets us into the coda. This is where she'll be singing, Will You Take Me As I Am? Okay, so in this section, I'm going to be adding in a little bit of my rock influence. I'm going to be fretting up an F sharp major chord. Except, I'm going to be taking away the bar. Instead, playing some open strings. On this chord, I'm going to be performing that same pop strumming pattern with the percussive hits. It definitely helps to collapse the hand and cover up the strings as you chuck through. Next, we're going to go to an A major chord. Just take this shape up to the 5th fret, perform the same strumming pattern. Next, I have a garden variety E major chord. Then, take that same shape that we had for F sharp up to the 7th fret, a B major chord. Repeat again. Then on the last one, you're going to go back to the F sharp, to the A, and then E major chord resolves the progression. Okay, congrats everyone. With those intro, verse, chorus, instrumental, and bridge sections complete, you're ready to perform. Alright everyone, thanks so much for checking out this lesson on Joni Mitchell's California. I hope you enjoyed it. Thanks again to Caroline Kane for joining me on the demonstration. I got plenty more videos coming up, so keep checking back. Please subscribe, please share. This is Rob at Swift Guitar Lessons in Philadelphia saying happy picking.